Good afternoon, Stampers, it's Debbie, and I just thought that I'd make a quick video this afternoon just to keep us going, probably in a series of videos that we're going to be making along the way while we're all isolated. So this afternoon, as you probably know, I'm a little bit addicted to this new stamp set, which is Breathtaking Bouquet. I don't know if you can see that. It's a background stamp set, but it's got so many lovely features about it, and now I'm making a lot of cards with it at the moment, and we made something with this at the last workshop as well. So Breathtaking Bouquet is what we're going to be making this afternoon, and I'm going to be showing you how to do this lovely triple panel faux sort of card. We're going to be using some of the new stitched rectangle dies as well to make this card as well. And here's another one that I've done as an example. I just haven't put the greeting and the bow on it. This one's got a wider early espresso sort of rim around it, and I'm actually thinking that I prefer this one. It's got more white space. I've used Granny Apple Green to colour it in rather than Mossy Meadow. So let's get started. So the components that you're going to need to make the card really is a card base. I've used Petal Pink card. This is cut at 4 inches by 5 7/8 of an inch. It's essentially 1/2 of an A4 piece of card, and then I've just scored it at 5 7/8 in the centre. You're going to need 3 pieces of early espresso card, one that measures 3 9/16 by 5 5/16. I'm using 16th, and you'll see why in a bit, because it's actually, the problem is that I only want a tiny bit of the early espresso to show around the edge of each of these stitched dies, and so rather than use 1/8 of an inch, we're going to be using 16th, so that's why it's very precise. So you need one cut at 3 by 9/16 of an inch and 5 5/16 of an inch, one at 1.5 by 2 7/8 of an inch, and one at 2 by 11/16 of an inch by 4 3/16 of an inch. And then you're going to need just a piece of white cardstock at 3.5 by 5 1/4. So what we're going to do to start with is we're going to use a press. Now some of you will have a Stamparatus, some of you will have a Misty. So what I've done is I've already put the Breathtaking Bouquet stamp onto the background here, and you can see it's a big one, but I've actually popped it onto here, and we're going to stamp all over. Now the way that I stamp something that's so large like this is that I actually take the ink to the pad. I don't try and put the pad on top of the ink. I'm going to bring this back, pop it in, there, and you've got your card thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that away and clean it later. You don't want to see that. So we've got that beautiful now stamped image, and what we're going to do is we're going to colour that in, and what I actually use is blender pens. I'm absolutely addicted to blender pens as well at the moment. So the colours that I've used for this particular card is the light and dark Petal Pink. I've used dark daffodil for the centre of the flowers, and the light Granny Apple Green to colour in the leaves. Now the object is that you don't want to have too much coloured in around the edge. You want it really as white as possible. So I'm going to just only lightly touch up a few of them around the edge, and then the Petal Pink. So you don't want to watch me colour this in, but I'm going to do one very quickly. My husband's going to speed it up for me so that you can see quickly how I've done it, and then I'm going to just say, here's one I prepared earlier. So once you've coloured in your white cardstock and you're happy with it, and you're going to cut that out through your die cutting machine. So you put that through your die cutting machine, and then what you should have, and take these pieces away, is 3 pieces like this. And this is where you're going to bring back your card base. And so the first thing that you are going to do is you're going to stick this layer onto your early espresso card base that you've already matte, that you've cut out. And you can see there's the barest amount of early espresso just around the edges. With this particular mat, you're only going to snail glue this down. Now the trick here is you need to be really careful, because the trick is that you need to get this absolutely in position, but it helps to know that you have got the barest outline. And trim it off. So the next one is like so. Now you can see this one is slightly too big. So this is this one, so I'm going to stick this one down, and again you can see that it's got the barest outline. Now with this one, there's a tiny gap here and a tiny gap here. I think that there's slightly too much brown showing. And then for this one, yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so you've got your 3 layers, and that's fantastic. So the next thing is just really putting it all together. So with this layer, we're going to just snail that on. So with the next 2 layers, we're going to put dimensionals on. Now the important factor is that you need to get this the right way around. This is really important because it's a continuation of the pattern. So just make sure you've got it not upside down, but the right way around, and then it continues like that. So essentially that's your triple layer faux, can't think what that's called, layered card. The next thing that we're going to do is going to add a sentiment. I'm going to use a little bit of scrap card here. I'm going to use the really small, the smallest sort of stitch die rectangle, and I am using early espresso to stamp that greeting. And what I've done is I've chosen It's Your Birthday, and I've chosen that one from this stamp set, Will Walrus Be Friends, It's Your Birthday. I love this little stamp set, it's great. Good one for blending in as well. And what I did was I placed the die so it was right over here. And the reason being is because I actually want to put the bow onto this part here. So I've left that bit blank. So I've already pushed that through. I've managed to get a little bit of ink on this bit, but that doesn't really matter because I'm going to glue it down and I'm going to put a bow over the top. And then I've got this beautiful petal pink ribbon, which I love as well, which goes lovely with this particular card, and I'm going to tie that into a bow. And I'm going to stick that down here. What I'm going to use for that is a glue dot. The final and last piece is really just a little bit of a embellishment, and for the purpose of this I've used these really gorgeous noble peacock rhinestones, and as usual and always apply them in 3s, never even numbers, and don't think about it too much about where you're going to put them. They just need to go on randomly, because that's why it just looks much better when you do that. I might just put one just there in the centre. And there's the finished product. I hope you like it. It's just a quick and easy card for you to do and follow along with. Thanks for watching everyone. See you soon.